calling one another ratchet.
Yeah.
Because the word is, it means vile and base, and I just feel like no woman, no matter what she's done, who she is, where she lives, she's not ratchet. And it's not even, the word doesn't mean what they think it means.
Right.
It's from the word wretched.
Right.
But anyway, I don't think we should call people that. Now, you want to call a chair, a neighborhood, whatever ratchet, by all means, go ahead. But as women, like you said, we already carry, and just women in general, black, white, yellow, green, we carry so many burdens on our shoulder. Motherhood. I mean, really, everyone in here is in here because someone birthed them, right? So to be a mother, to be an entrepreneur, to be a wife, to hold all these titles and then not be able to have the common decency of being called a woman, but to be called ratchet or to be called the B word. And it's too much. Why do it to ourselves? Another title. One that's even heavier than the other ones that we carry.
If I could interject, my business partner, she made right before I left my job to, freelance and really start this business, she made a comment to me. She said, her perspective is very different. She survived World Trade Center. Her perspective on life is very different, and I really hold her in a high esteem for that. She said, Dana, you have enough to carry on your own. You carry yours and let everybody else carry theirs. You can't fix everyone else's problems. As you mentioned, we all have these titles and we want to fix and we want to nurture and we want to be there and da-da-da. But sometimes you find you're taking that on yourself, and now I can't get out of bed because I'm worried about you and your boo.
Right.
What good are you to anyone?
And I'm not good to anyone. And I'm broken and I can't get my bangs right. Like, you know what I mean? So like, as I get older, seriously, as I get older, I'm like, I learn, let me carry my stuff. You carry yours, and what I can help you with, I will. And that's very difficult to do because sometimes you feel like you're letting someone down. But in actuality, it's like, I can't take on fix everything.
How do we, and I'm going to direct this question to Gina, because I think Gina said she was the youngest person here, and I think she is. So Gina, you're going through this transition. Let's talk about transition. As women, how do we free ourselves from this burden that we carry of helping everyone, of being something to everyone, of not feeling like we belong, like Quincy said? That's a burden. How do we free ourselves from these burdens? Because most of the women, honest to goodness, that I have met have been very welcoming, very warm. We do have, here and there. But for the most part, I've never had issues like that with women. But I feel like sometimes we have issues with one another because we have issues with ourselves. It's something warring inside of me that's making me war with you. So I'm saying to Gina, she walks into a room, look her up and down.
She thinks she's cute.
What time we gonna go to lunch? I wanna talk to you about something. And it's just nasty. But the issue, we've seen it. And let's be honest, some of us have been it. Miss Nasty Attitude. But some of us have been it. I have been it, I'll be honest. There was a time when I was so mean. It was because I felt ugly.
Judgmental.
So I didn't want anyone to come in and feel better than me. You know what I mean? So it was like a protection. Exactly. And I was so nasty for no reason. So Gina, as the youngest, have you encountered that burden that you feel as a woman? And if you haven't, are you prepared to?
I am the youngest. I'm 24, and I've been in New York 2 years now.
From where?
From Kansas.
Big
Kansas. It's a huge difference. And for me, just encountering people in general and coming to New York in this time in my life where I had just overcome so many things. I just got out of a 3-year relationship from college, and then pre-college, I never felt free. I never felt freedom when it came to just as a woman, being able to say no, being able to not take care of somebody. I come from a pretty affluent background where my parents have worked very, very hard to be where they are. My father's an entrepreneur, and my mother grew up just raising me and my sister. And I never saw money as something that I earned, so I gave it pretty freely. And I encountered too many people that very sincerely took advantage of me in body, in soul, in finances, and took the loving, the giving spirit that I have and turned it into something that wasn't right.
Wow.
And turned it into something to where I was just giving and giving and giving, and I never got anything in return. So I ended up empty.
Yeah.
And I ended up going to college empty and looking for something, men, parties, being out with friends, anything to fill that, when it wasn't an internal thing where you're good enough, you're worthy, you're enough to fill it yourself. And being a woman, I know we've all felt that we give and we give and we give, and you see these as a mother, as a friend, as a confidant, as a girlfriend, as a partner, you're constantly giving, and you just have to see whether or not you're receiving, and if you're open to receiving, even, because at one point I wasn't even open to giving myself something back. I wasn't open to somebody giving something back to me, where I was like, nope, it's cool, because I never wanted to feel indebted to anybody.
Right. Wow.
As a woman, you've got these burdens, and you have to unload them, but don't do it by giving of yourself so much that you don't have anything left.
That's powerful. And let me ask you this question. So you say to the people that have met you now, you caught me at a good time, but do you find yourself wearing a mask because of where you came from and the experiences that you went through? Because listen, she's the sweetest person here, right? Everyone that's seen her has been like, she's sweet as pie. She's so kind, but are we missing something? Is there a mask there where we're allowed to see the sweet, very articulate, very beautiful woman, but we're not allowed to go any deeper?
I am the first one to say, I can fix everyone else's problems, but don't get started on me. Like, I can give you the best advice. Girl, we will fix everything. You got problems with your man, we gonna fix that. You got problems with your job, we gonna fix that. But as soon as it comes back on me, I'll shut down. And I'll say, oh, no, I'm fine. I'm great. Like, no.
So then you're not open to receiving.
I still have difficulty with it, because once again, it's this feeling of being indebted to somebody and giving somebody something that, or letting somebody do something for me that means, no, I got this. I got to pay you back. I've got to do this. I've got to do this.
Part.
No, I need to have that control right here in my pocket, because I can't.
Why do you need to have that control? Do you consider yourself a giver?
I do.
Okay. So wouldn't you want to give other people the opportunity to consider the, and I know it sounds simple, but you can't really define yourself as a giver if you don't know how to receive, right? Because after you've given, you have to receive from somewhere, or else where would you have to give from? You receive your paycheck from work, don't you? You don't say, oh, no, I don't want you to control that. Keep my paycheck. Do you say that? No. So you're willing to receive when it's convenient and comfortable.
Right.
But when are you going to be willing to get uncomfortable? When are you going to be willing to let people that may hold it over your head do something for you?
Since moving to New York, I've kind of been put in more situations like that, because I am so far from my family. There's only so much they can do. Even if I get in a bind, if something happens, like, there's only so much they can do. There's only so much that monetary things can fix.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I've had to, take from others, and I hate that. Like, I feel like I'm taking from somebody when it's
But maybe
given.
instead of taking, see it as receiving.
Yes, I know.
As a gift.
Yeah, and
Just redefining the word. I know it's hard. We're not going to fix our problems today.
I know, right?
But
It's just like,
difficult.
in redefining the word, I have to change my mindset.
Yeah.
I have to change the way I look at it. And not seeing it as taking from somebody else, the way people took from me, but as receiving. Because when I used to give to people, it was never from a place of, I expected anything back. But now it's like, when you're a grown up and you're making your own money, and these things are no longer just trivial.
Right.
Like, I can't just do this for you, and I can't do this for you, and I'm sorry about your situation, but I can't help you. To now come into like my own as a woman and say, sheesh, I might need some help.
Yes.
I might need someone. I'm sick. I might need someone to bring me some soup, or, my apartment's a mess, and you were here all weekend with me. Can you help me?
Yeah, that's where I am.
Can you help me with some dishes, some little things? I don't have to do this all on my own. And whether that's a friendship or a relationship or just anybody that shares your life with you, like, sometimes you need that help.
Yes, and that's where I'm trying to get to.
And I'm not
Sometimes you need
great.
that help.
I'm not great at asking for it.
And we're gonna come to it. Yeah, go.
Asking for help, I don't know if anybody else has that problem,
Can't do it.
but it
Difficult.
is like, oh my gosh, like, it's like, it's like asking for help. And I think, and for the entrepreneurs here, you know what I mean? It is like, you gotta ask, and it's like, you get in that, once again, that place of vulnerability. And for me and my personal thing, and this is actually something that I'm masking and trying to take it off, but then put it back on, the Phantom of the Opera, half of it is on. It's like, when I get to that point, even like, executive producing this and doing all these things, when I get to that point, I get mad at myself that I need help.
Girl.
I get mad. I'm like, why can't I be like whomever and have all the money and all the resources so I don't have to ask anyone for help? Like, in my head, I'm like, I cannot wait until I have a team to just like do this for me, because I'm tired. I feel like my favors are like at their zero. It's like, it's like my check-ins to my savings. It's like, I feel like my favors from my savings to my check-ins, I need like another 6 months.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's for me, my issue is like allowing myself to be vulnerable and like for asking for help. But the thing that I'm masking is that I hate asking, and I feel less than because I have to ask for help. Like it bugs me, and it's like I should, and then you said it right. It's like, everyone else has it together. Everyone else is doing their thing.
I was gonna say, could it be that we're judging other people's outsides and comparing it to our insides?
Right.
You don't know what they're masking.
You're right. That's true. So it's just been something that I'm doing, especially with these last few months, where it's like you're getting aggressive and you're like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is my vision, and it's so big it scares me. Oh my gosh, I need help. Why is it so hard? But one thing I notice is that there's nothing like, God gives you faith and God gives you things, but he gives you things in your reach. You know what I mean? He's not going to put it in your plate. He's not going to say, here's your success. Success, this is where it is. So that's where I have to keep going back to myself. Like, Maria, you have to work for something. Like, it has to make sense. But yeah, I really suffer with the whole.
Absolutely.
I'm just seeing the women that you have here. I'm not sure. I come from a line of very strong women and single women at that. So my mom was a single mother. My grandmother, she raised her kids as a single mother. So in seeing how they raised their kids and raised me, I'm so accustomed to seeing strong women that never had to depend on anyone for anything. As much as they struggled, they weren't going to ask anybody for anything. And that's a gift and a curse that they've placed on me, because I could be to my very last, but I promise I won't ask you. You're not gonna, and that goes to the control that we were talking about. I don't want anyone to be the puppet master in my life to say, remember when I gave you? No, you didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't eat that week. You didn't give me anything. And that pride is so terrible because I don't want to pass that on to my children.
That's right.
Because it's a scary place to be, because now I'm in a relationship, and I'm not sure if we're going to touch that on relationships and vulnerability. But now that I'm in a relationship, I've never been that girl in past relationships to give all of myself, because I always in the back of my mind felt, you're going to leave anyway. You're going to probably do some trifle anyway. So let me give you 75% of Mika. And
Powerful.
Now that I'm in a relationship now that's pure, that's beautiful, and we both came bearing ourselves from day one, I'm able to say, okay, fine, I need blah, 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 blah. He's like, all you had to do was ask, but it's just been, I've just been operating in this way, in this manner for as long as I know how. Even just, and I'm not sure if it's just a power trip, because I also realized everyone is successful in their own career. And just and just as powerful women, we don't want help.
Absolutely.
We don't want help.
That's excellent. I want to come over here and I want to speak with Melanie. In our introductions, you had indicated that you're the oldest of 6 siblings, and that they're much younger than you. Do you see yourself as a caretaker?
I do. I don't have your typical just mother, father kind of household. I do have step parents, which sounds odd to some people, but I do. I still have my biological father here with me as well. And then my real mom, she passed away when I was 9 years old. So caretaker, definitely yes, because I do feel like, you know, I love my parents to death and they have a lot on their plate as well, but I have to be the other voice to kind of step in and be someone that they can relate to, that's not too much older than them. But it's also a barrier too, because I am the oldest, so it still sees me as, you know, being a parent figure. So in that regards, yes.
Okay. So you're a caretaker for others.
Yes.
Are you a caretaker for yourself?
Trying to be.
Tell me.
I don't think that I am. I'm trying to get to that point where I feel like I'm allowing myself to see my vulnerabilities and accept it. But in all honesty, I'm like I said before, I'm kind of learning what those are every day. I mean, when I even look in the mirror, I'm not happy with myself, and I think most importantly, that's my biggest downfall, is that I'm not happy, and I don't know why that is. I'm trying to dig deeper to see, you know, what things may have happened in my past that probably triggered it. But yeah.
One thing that I learned is that there's a difference between happiness and joy. And happiness is based on what's happening in your life. So you have a bad day, you're not happy. You have a good day, you are happy. But joy is something that's consistent. You have a bad day, you still have your joy. You have a good day, you still have your joy. You know, you have a medium day, you still have your joy. Joy doesn't go away. So you said you're not happy. Do you have joy? Do you know what joy is? How would you define joy for yourself?
I think I have a sense of joy, of what I know what it is, because truth of definition and what I've seen around me. Now for myself directly, I know how, it's at reach. I just haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
I know I can see it, so I know all hope is not lost. But I'm just working my way towards it. And even in situations where it is a bad day and I'm trying to figure out what is that thing that can pull me out of feeling discouraged or feeling less than in that moment. And I'm trying to figure out if it's a quote or if it's someone I need to call or to kind of bring me back to myself, what that would be. So, I mean, I know that has to come from me first initially. So I'm just trying to figure out what that is.
I have been masking.
We would be so much further if we worked as a team, as a human race, as opposed to what's in it for me right now. I have been masking.
Quincy, one word for your legacy.
Survivor.
I have been masking.
Your purpose is when you use your natural gift, talents, and abilities to serve a human need.